Jensen. Most emotional?
Like that, like really got you going.
I think the Nutcracker scene made me cry. And I was crying with laughter. There's a couple that kind of come to mind. You know, the one where Sam dies and talking over his.
Which time Sam dies?
When he got stabbed in the back. And so that one was tough, and I remember telling the director at the time, I was like, you know, I don't know how many of these takes I have in the gas tank, so if you could shoot as much of it in one pass as possible, that'd help us all out. That one was tough. Also, the other one was, keep in mind, I always forget the name of that episode, where Dean tells Sam about his experience in hell.
Heaven and Hell? That's right.
Is that it?
Yeah, because it was season 4.
I remember that was, for some reason, just got really emotional. And sometimes it's interesting when you're doing scenes like that, because your brain knows that you're not, that this is not real, but you're telling your body that it is. And so your body is reacting accordingly, which is why it produces tears, and it can shake, and you can start getting sweaty, and you know, it just turns into a mess. And sometimes it's hard to turn that off once it's gotten to that emotional level. And I remember at the end of that scene, I had to take a walk and just walk it off. As my dad always told me, walk it off!
I think for me, I think there are two that I can remember. One was Heart, having to put down something.
I hated watching you go through that day, because Jared this was early, was that season 2? It was 1.
2.
It was 3.
1.5.
2. 1. So he was still trying to figure. I mean, we weren't as close to the characters as we are now, and so being as close as we are now to the characters, there's an emotional attachment that you have to these characters that you're able to tap into a lot easier now than I think we did back in the first few seasons. And so I remember Jared, during that filming of that scene, he stayed in that heavy emotional state. And he was just like in the corner, just like Rocky, and I remember I don't know, you tell him if you want to tell him what you were thinking about.
I think, so I have a dog. I have 2 dogs now, but at the time I had 2 dogs as well. But it reminded me, so the scene in Heart, I think you probably have all seen it, where I had to kill Madison. And it made me think about my dog, like having to put down a dog that doesn't know what had been done wrong. And so I kind of started thinking about my dog and how I would feel if I had to go shoot my dog, even though my dog didn't need to do something. And it was a very sad scene. I started thinking of my dog. But a lot of times in these scenes, like even in Sacrifice, I kind of stayed in it. My 2 big ones were probably Heart in season 2 and the season 8 finale with Mark Shepard, Sacrifice. And so I think, thank you. So those were both, they kind of consumed me a little bit, and also I feel very lucky. For those who I haven't had the opportunity and pleasure to meet, and thanks, I feel very lucky to be able to play Sam Winchester in front of you guys, so thank you. And so some of these scenes that I feel really capture Sam and or Jared and or issues a lot of us have dealt with, I really try and give it the sincerity and gravitas that it deserves. So I think those 2 for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.